Thanks for watching this portion of Garage Logic today on our YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. And also thanks to our friends at Everest Men's Health for sponsoring this. Go to everestmenshealth.com today to see if they can help you with better energy and better health. And catch the Garage Logic podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Do you guys think the brinksmanship we're seeing in Washington is theater? Are we really heading to a default, or will it be brought in? Will they rein it in time?
Biden tells the GOP, get out of the way. That was the headline yesterday.
Democrats and Republicans must decide in the next day or two, it's always or two, how far to take their deadlock over the U.S. debt limit, which is pushing the country perilously close to a catastrophic default. Wall Street strategists are taking notice of the political turmoil, warning there is growing danger for financial markets as the clock ticks closer to October 18, the date by which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen expects the country to reach its limit on sovereign debt. Is this political theater?
In this case, John, okay, go ahead, John.
Well, no, I think it always is in this case, especially given what everybody's saying would happen if they defaulted, because the politicians know what'll happen. And then they'll think, I don't want to get blamed for this, so let's save our phony baloney jobs.
Do they actually think they're representing us?
Yeah,
I think they do believe that, but we all know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Does the fact that this is fracturing the Democrats, how's that figure in for the answer to your question?
No, it's not representative of us to have a fractured Democratic Party that the progressive wing is attempting to absolutely win. Is it Bill Maher? Yeah, who has just become a voice of common sense lately.
Yeah.
He said Joe Manchin and is it Sinema?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
General Sinema.
Warner Brothers.
Cindy, Candy, I'll look at it.
Well, he said, isn't it possible that Manchin and Sinema have their finger on the pulse of the ordinary Democrat more than occasional Cortex or Bernie Sanders? This is a $3.5 trillion tax and spend plan. I'm not going to play it today because it's too long, but I want G. Ellers to look it up. I was alerted.
That's right.
It's too long.
You sent it to me.
Yeah, you going to post it? Maybe?
Yeah, I will post it.
It's a video, YouTube video by what's his name? Dan Crenshaw, the pirate, and he calmly is explaining what this means. This incredible amount of money, and written into the $3.5 trillion tax and spend plan is the largest expansion of the Internal Revenue Service in history. If the progressives prevail, the agency will hire 87,000 new agents, more than double its current workforce, and receive $80 billion in new funding to audit taxpayers, including American families and small businesses. One way they will do this is by giving the IRS vast authority to create a new financial account reporting regime, which would force the disclosure of any business or personal account that exceeds $600. Opening virtually every American citizen up to privacy violations and IRS abuse. The new reporting regime would require institutions, including third-party payment providers like Venmo and Cash App, to report inflows and outflows of accounts exceeding $600 in value to the IRS.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That can't happen. I'm sorry.
Wow.
They need to get rid of that immediately.
Well, for a number of reasons. Just imagine the growth of government just involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, we American people are being told that we're a bunch of cheats. We're being told that unless we, the government, who knows better than you, unless we monitor you, we don't trust you. Mm-hmm. B as in B, S as in S. I think this is outrageous. And Biden is not holding the center. He is drifting to the progressive side of the party. How could you...
Drifting?
Well...
You mean taking a speedboat?
Sliding or running.
Well, he's a puppet. He's completely controlled by the progressives.
Yes, Kenny's absolutely right.
How can I possibly see the goodness in this? $600.
Hold on. My buddy Matt just tweeted this 2 minutes ago. It's almost like he was listening to the show live.
Yeah.
So when bread costs $100
Right.
and milk costs $500, will the IRS track all my trips to the grocery store too?
Right.
Because that's where we're heading.
Joe, to get around Republican obstruction, anyway, President Joe Biden said Tuesday that Democrats are considering a change to the Senate filibuster rules in order to quickly approve lifting the nation's debt limit to avoid what would be a devastating credit default. So they're going to change the rules. They can't win the game. They're going to change the rules.
Manchin said this morning he will not take part in that, so it won't happen. They won't have enough votes to do it.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Good.
Why don't the Republicans reach out to Manchin and install him as a voice of reason and get rid of the wing that's still clinging to Trump's coattails? Come on, Manchin. You're a genius by the standards of your party.
We've talked about this frequently. The center, you know, we're four parties now. Like it or not, we're four parties.
Well, we took the test. There were 6, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the New York Times? Or Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, we never did go on the air with that, Chris.
Yeah, we
Just
did.
think of
Yeah,
the
we did.
Oh, we did?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of the burdensome bureaucratic mess this would be. And how you would be dragged into what would amount to be a constant auditing of your life. Mm-hmm. For what purpose? Again, the purpose is we're the government. We know more than you, and we don't trust you. We want more of your money, and we think that, you know, you were the same people that wrote the tax code.
Yeah.
Why don't you simplify it then? And
And
get
we're
rid of the
gonna
loopholes that have resulted in these Pandora papers. Get rid of the loopholes.
We're going to throw an S-ton of money at the IRS in order to track you down.
We're going to hire 87,000 new agents to pry into your life because we don't believe you. What else can you conclude about this?
Meanwhile, if you're a citizen of the United States and you need to talk to somebody in the IRS on the phone,
Yeah,
Good luck.
it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
I don't. This is appalling. This is tantamount to the White House saying to us, "You people are not to be trusted," and we know what you're really doing with that $600. Yeah, I'm trying to buy a refrigerator. What do you mean? What am I doing with it? How can it benefit the IRS to know that I wrote a check for a new refrigerator for $600?
I'm telling you right now.
They don't have the.
They're going, and I already said this on the show, and I'm going to repeat it. They are going after the people, and I know a lot of people that operate in a cash world. They work for cash, and they pay with cash.
Well,
And that's the people they're going after.
how
Okay,
can they
Chris.
How can they go after them? They leave no trail.
You just brought up something. You brought up the same thing I wanted to bring up. The Joe Souchere way of life. You walk into your bank at payday, I'll take all of that. Your whole paycheck in cash. And do it the way I used to do it when I didn't have a checking account. Go get money orders to pay the bills. Or leave just enough in your account to pay, you know.
Leave $509 in my checking account.
But I shouldn't have to
Exactly.
do that.
Well,
Right.
no crap.
You know, depending what's coming up, there's some sizable amounts of money in the checking account, depending
Right.
what's facing
Sure.
me,
Yeah.
Right.
You mean when you got to pay your property tax?
which I did the last checkbook. The last checkbook sit down.
They're coming after every red cent we all own. That's exactly what this is about.
Well, I disagree.
Okay.
Jordy notes one year when my taxes were very simple, I did them on TurboTax. I answered a number of questions regarding a one-time tax credit. TurboTax said I was not eligible for the credit. I probably imputed something wrong. About 2 weeks later, after submitting my return, I got a letter from the IRS telling me that I was eligible for that tax credit and my refund would be so much higher. I thought then, if they know that much about my finances, why in the hell do I pay a tax return at all or have a tax return at all? But I find a better analogy in his brief vignette here. Can you imagine the mistakes that will be made by prying into everybody's checking and savings accounts? The how it will get bollocked. What's the word?
Bollocks?
It'll get bollocksed up. The whole thing will become a mess. And you'll be trapped in their lair with no way out. Who do you turn to for help?
You're screwed.
We're going to be subjects of the IRS if this goes through. It can't go through. This is terrible.
Well, the other part of this that disturbs me is the younger generation, for instance, my son, they do all of their things through Venmo. So if they're following Venmo, if Dylan produces some music for a guy, the guy will pay him through Venmo. So what the IRS is going to, every time it reaches $600, go, hey, hold it and see what's going on.
Yes, the new reporting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The new reporting regime would require institutions, including third-party payment providers like Venmo and Cash App, to report inflows and outflows of accounts exceeding $600 in value to the IRS.
It's ridiculous. Same with PayPal. I read in another story they do the same thing with PayPal, which I use. I don't usually have $600 things, but once in a while.
I think the only logical conclusion then is we should put all of our money into Facebook, and that way we know it's safe.
No, never.
We should put it into an account in South Dakota, apparently, is where money should be going.
Well, I just don't. I just think this is they have become so emboldened in revealing their true selves.
Because they answer to no one.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is just obscene. The IRS can look me up and see that I pay my taxes. What do they think? That I'm hiding? That I took that $600 for the refrigerator and said, wink, wink, I'm not really buying a refrigerator. I'm just going to put this $600. It doesn't even make sense to me. I don't know what I'd do with the $600. Plus, I don't even think you can get a refrigerator for $600, which is neither
Well,
here
if you
nor
bought
there.
a used one, I'm sure you could.
No, you can. You can.
Yeah.
I used to own rental property. I know.
Well, what in God's name business is it of theirs?
It isn't. There is none. There is no business of theirs. But they're coming after it.
Well,
And they won't stop till they get their way. We're seeing that play out right in front of us.
they're going to put limits on the cash machine card then, right? You go to the cash machine, you're going to go to okay, I'm going to go to a swap meet, and I might spend $100, I might spend $1,000, but I'm going to put $1,000 in my pocket just in case, right?
Yeah.
They could then limit that, right?
I don't know.
You don't need $1,000 of your own money. What are you doing with that money that belongs to you?
But here's the question. What does you spending $1,000 at a swap meet have to do with your tax return?
Exactly.
So I don't buy your scenario. They're not going to take the $1,000 out of your pocket, but they're still going to be
saying
making life.
allow it or disallow it.
Well, I don't. That. Do you
You're
realize
right.
what you're saying?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're saying you're saying something that's tantamount to you would have to have the IRS permission to spend $1,000.
A credit limit, right, given to you by the IRS. Much like I have a credit limit on my credit card that's I've put in place in case it gets ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should put mine lower in case it gets ripped off.
Now I know to follow Kenny to a swap meet.
Yeah. But I just don't. Their assumption, their presumption is that we're all a bunch of cheaters. When here's the biblical truth. Everyone who's ever worked with me on preparing my taxes has said we've got to report every penny. It's the only way to go. Report, and we do. And I'm appalled to be treated this way. Like Coffee Mosca says she's embarrassed as a black woman to be told that she couldn't stand a chance to pass that bar exam. I'm appalled as a white American that I'm being told that I'm a cheater on my taxes. And we're going to hire 87,000 new agents to track you down. I'm not cheating you. Well, good luck to us all.
Well, this is just part of the control that this isn't just money, Joe. I mean, it's all aspects of our life. This is what they're doing. Did you read about the mandatory the mandatory vasectomy thing after
What?
3.
Wow. No.
After 3 kids. Google it right now. Are we
Oh
going
my
into a break?
God.
During the break, Google mandatory vasectomy
I'm doing
bill.
it right now.
Yeah.
In this country?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. Is this China? After 3 kids, snip, snip. Representative Chris Robb, R-A-B-B, a Philadelphia Democrat.
Well, bleep you, lady.
I don't know if it's a he or a she, proposing a bill to restrict male reproductive rights.
This is by someone by the name of Representative Rolanda Hollins. Vasectomy Bill HB 238. The vasectomy bill is to help with the reproductive system. This is to neutralize the abortion ban bill. The responsibility is not always on the woman. It takes 2 to tango. This will help prevent pregnancy as well as abortion of unwanted children.
I see. So they're playing a little
yeah.
game.
This is
Yeah.
a little tit for tat.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
A politician in the U.S. is ruffling feathers with a new proposal to fight tough abortion laws. Democrat Rolanda Hollins has introduced a bill that will require men to have a mandatory vasectomy in the state of Alabama. Once men reach the age of 50 or have had 3 children, they would be required to undergo the procedure. Quote, this measure would require a man to undergo a vasectomy within 1 month of his 50th birthday or the birth of his 3rd biological child, whichever comes first, the bill proposes.
Chris,
Yeah.
what's the date? What's the date on that story?
Wait, I've got one here.
February
Yeah.
19th of 2020. Oops.
Well, John, here's one.
Chris,
no, John.
here- I got the one you got too, Kenny. Chris
Okay.
Rabb. That
All
one?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stop talking.
Yeah.
Read it to me when we come back. What's the date of the story you two have?
This
October
one's
6th.
current.
Okay,
Yeah, very
all right.
current.
Well, in the meantime, you kick this stuff around the water cooler at your new place of employment at Center Point.
Hey, did you hear about the vasectomy bill?
Center Point of Center Point of
Snip,
Mendota.
snip. You're going to come home today, Such, and she's going to have a scissors
Oh, yeah.
waiting for
Get
you.
over here.
It's way too late for me.
I'm a do-it-yourselfer.